Alrighty, I started backwards. So this is my last video, which is just introduction to day trading. If it's your first time considering day trading, or you'd want to day trade, or you've heard about it, not really sure, this is just a quick video or overview of what day trading is and isn't, and how it works in like this day and age. Because some of us, our interpretation of day trading is either outdated or just incorrect, myself included, when I first started and I was able to learn. So day trading is buying and selling financial instruments within the same trading day, and it's important to remember the buying and the selling, because we're all used to, oh, the stock market is crashing, we're all losing money. In the day trading world, you actually make money buying and you can make money selling, just as much. So the key takeaways or key characteristics are that all positions will close before market. You should always close your positions before market close. If you hold your positions overnight, and we'll talk about what that means, holding your position overnight, then you will pay like a little bit of fees to do that. You focus on short-term price movements, and which requires active monitoring during trades, because we're day trading. We trade during the day. We trade when the market is open. We trade for short periods of time, so that's why it requires active monitoring typically. And then these are the markets that I tend to talk about when we talk about trading. You can either trade futures, you can trade forex, you can trade stocks, you can trade crypto. I don't talk about crypto because I don't get it. Stocks, I don't talk about it as much unless I'm referring to options, and I don't trade that either. Futures and forex, I've traded these multiple times, and futures is where I tend to settle. So day trading versus others. So day trading, I've said before, you're only in a trade for anywhere between like a minute. Yes, you can be in a trade for 60 seconds to 4, 5, 8 hours. It just depends on what your plan is, what you're doing, what your goal is. It depends on what the market is doing. Sometimes the market moves really quick and you can be in a trade for 10 minutes, and another times market is super slow and you're in a trade for 8 hours. The 8 hours is definitely an exaggeration. I've never been No, I've been in trade for longer than 8 hours, but that was not me day trading. That was me doing something called swing trading, and I'll get to that. So day trading tends to happen during the day. We're talking 9 to 5 typically. Typically. Scalping is when you're doing a trade within seconds to minutes. And if you see the candle interpretation video that I did, I talked about scalping in there, because if we're doing candle interpretation and we're trading based off of price action, or if we're trading based off of how we're interpreting candles, the trade that practices that I did, I think we entered into that trade, we were there for 10 minutes and we got out. So scalping is really quick. It's in and out, in and out, and you can do multiple positions. You could essentially take like 50 trades in 10 minutes, depending on what the candles are doing or what your plan, your goal, your strategy is. It's super, super fast. It's not recommended for somebody who's brand new, because you have to know how to get in and out really quickly. It's also high intensity. As I was doing that candlestick interpretation, I remember thinking, gosh, why don't I do this anymore? Because I used to trade like that, like look at candles, and I remember, oh yeah, it kind of like gives me palpitation. I mean, not really, but in a way, because it's like, man, it's really fast. You have to really be aware, and you're on your edge. Like, you can't breathe. You can't go to the bathroom with that kind of trade, because you're like, oh my god, the next candle could be crazy. And you're scalping in seconds, meaning the candle lengths are either seconds long or a minute long. So it's a lot of high intensity. You make a lot of money with it, which is totally fine. And like I said, you can take many trades and you don't do anything overnight, because you're doing it so quick within a matter of seconds or a minute. There's no trade that you're holding overnight. Swing trading is when you do hold things overnight. You can swing trade and hold a trade for days to weeks, sometimes even months, just depends. Swing trading are really for, I think it's more for advanced traders. These are people who already know the market well enough and they're comfortable holding a trade for an extended period of time. If you're the kind of person who wants their money now, you're not going to like swing trading. But if you're the kind of person that likes a lot of money, you're going to like swing trading. The problem with swing trading to me is that I like a lot of money now, and so swing trading does not work in my favor. It takes a lot of discipline, I think, for swing trading, because you're not making much changes in the long term, and by long term I mean days, weeks, not months, years. You're not making a lot of changes in the days to weeks unless something happens, like price hits your stop loss or price hits your take profit, and then you've got to make a decision to obviously get out or get out. But swing trading, You make probably out of all of these top three, you'd make the most out of it, but it's going to take you longer to get that money out. Not as long as investing, which we all know, Roth IRA, 401k. These are not really, I don't consider this day trading because even though it's more on the investment side, right? You definitely hold these overnight because you're trading for, for years. Like most of us have, a lot of us have a 401k or we've had one before. That's what that investment looks like. But for us, for the purposes of me and how I'm trading and teaching, I talk about day trading. Scalping is nice from time to time, which I will bounce into. If I just don't see a great setup for an actual day trade, but I see the candles are looking great in a certain direction, I'm going to scalp in that direction. Swing trading, I'm kind of wanting to get into this on the side just for my own um, development. I've tried a couple times in the past, but I'm just not patient enough for swing trading. You really have to be able to set something and just out of sight, out of mind sort of trade, and I'm not there yet. For us, for our purposes, we'll focus on these two instruments for day trading, which is under futures, and I like using ICT concepts, and I'll show you on the chart what those are. As like I said, there are different types of trading. So scalping is very short. You're doing this in seconds and minutes. You get small profits, but you get it in a high frequency. You can get multiple profits out, and you add those up. That's your profit for the day. Momentum. We don't really talk about this because you need to use a certain type of indicator to do this. Reversal is what we kind of talk about a lot, which is the liquidity, right? Where price goes up, you think it's going up, then it psychs you out and reverses back in a different direction and continues in that direction for a little while. Reversal or liquidity is what we call that out. Breakout is when price is essentially like reversal, where price breaks a key level, and trade expansion, which basically are the same thing. Range, we don't really talk about that. So day trading requirements for us with futures, we're going to talk about prop firms, which I really like, especially for beginners, because it doesn't psych you out knowing that all you have to do is put $50 in. If you have a really good strategy and like a mentor or a coach or someone that's walking you through, you can do well with that. And then if you can get payouts with that money, you can actually use that to fund a live account, and then you can use the live account and make money and not have to use a prop firm anymore. I explain all of those, I think, a little bit further in the course and in the community. Futures, if you decide to just use your own account, you can start with 500. But I'll tell you now, if you're trading to make actual money that you can say, hey, I don't need that fourth, fifth, or sixth job because I'm trading. $500 deposit initially is not going to work with futures because futures is so liquid. You really want to focus on having something like 2,000 or 3,000. My live account for futures, I start with 2,000. So I've made moves of like $1,000 in a day. Hey, that's decent, right? $1,000, $1,300 in a day is actually not bad. Not every day, but I want to say in a 3 day stretch, I made $1,300 in one day, 300 the next, $100. So what, $1,500 in 3 days? That's a job or something for just that week. That could take care of a job that I was planning on picking up next month or some shifts I was planning on taking. So the only way for me to have gotten that money is to have put enough capital in. 500 is not going to cut it. You're going to want something like 2,000, maybe 5,000. And I do discuss further like who should you go with as far as futures. You can use Tradeovate, you can use TradeStation, you can use Webull, but I like talking prop firms more. I like Top Step. I've used Alpha Futures. I heard Tradeify was good. I heard Lucid is good. I've never used Apex. Well, actually, I paid for Apex, but I never used them. But Apex is really popular because they're probably the cheapest on the market right now. I think it's like $30 instead of the $50 that Top Step charges. So that's pretty cool. Um, Equipment. I'm on my laptop. I only use my laptop. I don't use anything else. You can also use your phone. TradingView, the platform that we actually use to look at the charts, you can download that app on your phone. Your Top Step, which is what I use for prop firms, download on your phone. The broker, if you want to use live money, download all of it. Everybody is flexible. You can trade while you're at the gym. You can trade while you're at the school line waiting for your kids. I don't recommend all of that, but it is reasonable. Sure, if you want to be flashy and you're super like dedicated to this job or this work or this business or career, whatever you want to call it, you can definitely do the 1 to 2 months monitor thing. I would love to do this at some point, but my life is so mobile that a laptop works better for me for now. So Laptop is perfect. You don't need anything else. You need good internet connection, laptop, and you just need to be able to download your trading view, and everything else. Everything is cloud based. So as long as you have the internet, you're good. You don't need to have a desktop app, system downloaded now. You can just, everything is software based. Time. So when I do day trades, I'm not in a trade for longer than an hour or two, depending. Best day trades for me are probably like 10, 15 minutes. I'm never in a trade for longer than long. And when we're trading, there's certain time periods that we're trading in. I tend to trade between the 8:30 to about 11 o'clock. Now, I say 8:30 to 11 o'clock because your setup when you're looking to enter may not present right at 8:30. In fact, it usually doesn't, and I don't recommend we trade in the first 2 to 3 minutes of market opening. You try to wait until about 8:35 and then see what it looks like. And this is actually incorrect. It says Eastern, so if we're talking Eastern, then it should be 9:30 to 12. And so if I'm trading, and I do like to focus on just Eastern time because my clock is on Eastern on my computer. Um, the market opens 9:30 Eastern period. I've been in the chart since 8, usually with the class, and we're talking about um, you know what our expectations are, and we're marking out the charts. Prep probably takes 30 minutes, so I'll get in at 9 o'clock Eastern, and I'll mark my charts, mark my levels, um, maybe do technical analysis a little bit, just to again put my brain in the right mindset. Am I trading up? Am I trading down? Why? If I am, why? What's my reason? What's my evidence? Then the market opens at 9:30. And let's say on a good day, price presents itself at 9:45. I'm in for about 5 minutes. I get out at 9:50 and I'm done for the day. So I don't always stay until 11 a.m. And that's usually how I trade. And then you have to have the right mindset. Patience is huge. Trading has told me that I'm a very impatient human being, which is why I don't I don't swing trade as much as I would like to. I tried swing trading. I realized I'm a very impatient person, which is another reason why I write my steps down on my chart. It's not just for like people who are learning to trade, but it's for myself. It's a reminder to be patient. Wait for liquidity. Wait for the right time. Wait for fair value gap. Wait for the break of structure. Wait for the proper displacement of the candle. Wait for a short-term high to be taken out or a short-term low to be taken out before I enter into my trade. Emotional control. I mean, that's hard to say because when you're in a trade, you're emotional. You're like praying. You start doing things that don't make sense. You start hoping. You start, oh, I hope it goes here. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not going to happen. Um, you get emotional. If you lose money, of course, you get upset. You try to hide it, but you're upset. So you have to have the mindset to understand that these things are going to happen. Nothing is perfect. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you lose money. And I always try to tell people that. I don't write it down because I don't want to scare anybody, but you will lose money 100%. There's no way you're not going to lose money. This is a market that we don't control. You're absolutely going to lose money. But what's great about losing money that you can't control is that you can control how much money you lose. You don't have to be out here gambling because what I'm teaching and how I trade, I don't gamble. I am trading based off of my experience, my learning, like what I understand the market to be doing, not based off of, I was super lucky. I just threw no. How do you teach luck? And then you have to be willing to learn. Like I learned by taking a notepad, and I spent months, and by I say months, but I mean I spent every day for months writing down steps, cramming it into my brain, memorizing it. You can't know the steps in one day and then it's solidified in your brain. It doesn't work. Our brains don't work that way. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's why I repeat myself all the time. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, and sometimes I'll change it around so that you still understand it's the same thing, but I'm giving it from a different angle so that it's a lot more solidified in the brain. That's the only way to learn, is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and writing it down, typing it up and writing it down. Writing it down is even better because that hand to pen to brain connection keeps it in your head a lot longer than just saying it or watching a video. Um, I like to present a lot of PowerPoints, and I like to do a lot of screen recording, and I would do trade recaps, and I will, send you a link to stream with me as I'm entering the trade. I always encourage everybody else to enter into the trade too. and go from there, because you won't know until you enter into the trade. You won't know what it feels like. So realistically, 90% of traders lose money. We know the stats. If you don't, that's the truth. 90% of traders lose money. But the reason why they lose money is because they're gambling. They're not actually trading and they have an actual plan. They're just throwing money out there trying to figure out what to do. The other reality is that it takes 6 to 12 months to become consistent. This is 100% correct. Like, I didn't start making anything until the middle of 2025, and it had taken me 6 months prior when I decided to become serious. Actually, it took me 3 months prior when I decided to become serious. It's when I started to see consistent profits. Now, consistent profits to somebody might mean like I'm making money every day. That's not consistency to me. To me, consistency means is I keep my losses low, and at least every month I'm seeing profit. It may not be, 6 figures. No, it's not 6 figures. But it's money almost every single month, if not every other month, because the market, again, we don't control it, we don't create it. When things happen, like interest rate cuts happen, or tariffs, or war, the market isn't great. Does that mean that you're no longer consistent? No, it just means the market isn't in your favor right now, and you'd be dumb to enter into a trade just to see if you can make something in a market that's not in your favor. So, like, January was not a great month for me. Things have been crazy. The market has been super volatile, but I've been profitable this month. February I was profitable in December. So, yeah. You will have losing days and weeks. Like I said before, you will lose money. January was a terrible month for me. But you have to understand that the reality is that this takes practice and you have to study. Like, I'm reading books all the time, I'm watching videos, I'm writing notes. I have I have a notepad where I keep all my little notes of trading and things like that because I think it's important. The opportunity that trading provides is that it allows consistent traders to earn 5 to 15% a month, and that's on the low end. You can actually earn a lot more if you use prop firms, if you position your size as well, if you have a good strategy that happens at the right time where you can make money. You can work from anywhere on earth. I think that is the selling point. If that doesn't like tickle your feathers, if that doesn't make you feel like, okay, this is cool, like, I don't know, because the whole point of making money is to have freedom. It's hard to make money and feel like a servant, or feel enslaved to a situation, or feel locked or chained. Like, you want to make money and have freedom, and I'm catering this and saying this to a lot of professionals who we already make money. We have a degree. We're already earning. We have a life. We have a roof over our head. We're not living on the streets for most of us, right? We're earning. We're making money. We're going to the bank. We're cashing. But we're just not, either we're not living or we're not making enough, or we're having to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 jobs in order to feel like, okay, I'm making something. And even after that, we're not going to the gym regularly. The last time we had a vacation was never. We are not seeing our families as often. We're not taking care of our health because we're working all the time. So, trading, the fact that you can work from anywhere on earth and all you need is a computer. You don't even need a computer. You can essentially just need your phone. And the internet is amazing. What job do we currently do right now in our professionals, both healthcare or not healthcare? What job do we currently do that allows that? None. I also like the fact that you don't need a degree for this. Most of us, again, being in the professional world, had to be we had to be vetted. We had to have the degree. We had to have the recommendations to get into this job. We had to have been interviewed. We had to wear the right scrubs. We have to go through teachings and orientation and in-services and all these things. And we have to pay for licenses to be renewed and we have to do all the things, like all the things. We have to clock in. We have to do the 12-hour shift. We don't have a choice. All these things that come with the job. We have to work with people we don't really care about or we don't really know. We have to follow certain rules that we don't really believe in or we don't think is right. But hey, that's the nature of the game. We had to get a master's degree because the bachelor's was enough, or we had to get a bachelor's degree because the associate's wasn't enough. You had to get the associate's degree because certificate, technically, you didn't qualify. And trading is like, I don't need a degree. I don't need a certificate. I don't need anybody to speak for me or vouch for me that I'm good enough to make money. I don't need to wear a certain type of clothes. I don't have to come on camera. Like, there's so many reasons why trading makes sense. Why trading makes sense? it's almost like it's been under our noses the entire time for generations, and we've never noticed it. Or you knew somebody in your family, like I know somebody in my family who trades, but they never talked about it. And at the time when I knew they traded, I had no idea what it was. It looked really intimidating. But now, 10 years later, here I am recording videos for other people telling you it's really not bad. It's awesome. And I really know what I'm doing. And I feel like I know how to talk about it. Even though I might speak in circles, I want to create a human connection. Like, I'm not just recording and trying to charge people stuff. I'm doing this for free. It's all over. I have it on my YouTube. I have it on like a PayHib page, which it's free on. I have it on my WhatsApp group. I'm trying to share information with people so that they know. Like, I would share this with somebody else who you feel like they need to know how to trade, because, being a single mom and having 3 or 4 kids by yourself is hard, and leaving your home all the time is hard. It's hard to leave your house. Who's going to watch your kids? Your kiddo's not feeling too well, or you're not feeling too well because you're working 2 to 3 jobs. Share this to someone who you think could benefit from it. If you think they could benefit from it, they will benefit from it. As long as you have the willingness to learn, I swear. If you're willing to learn, there's nothing complicated. You and I, we've gone through degrees, high degrees. We've sat down and taken board exams. We're board certified. We've gone through training. We've been sent to different places. We've taught other people our jobs. We're at a point, maybe we've been doing this job for 1 year, 2 years, 3. Like, we know what we're doing, and yet the money does not match our experience. It doesn't match what we bring to the table. Trading is not complicated. It's different. You have to just shift your brain and shift your thinking a little bit to understand it, but it's not difficult. We've already been through difficult. We don't have to go through that again. So I want to just encourage anybody who's interested or think it's scary. It's really not. As long as you have someone holding your hand and carrying you through it, doing videos. And like I said, I come online every day, Monday through Friday, streaming. Whether I lose money, make money, don't trade, but I do a demo. I want everyone to see this is real. But I also want you to feel like, hey, you can enter into this too with me. Let's trade together. Literally, let's trade together. Tell me what you're doing. I'll be coaching in the same process. I'm willing to do that because I really feel like this is so beneficial. I feel like anybody and everyone can learn from this. And wouldn't it be great that if you can make money in 5 minutes from your bed, from the toilet, from your couch, and then spend time with your family, go out and smell the roses, go try something new today, go do that business that you were thinking about doing, quit that 4th or 5th or 6th job that you were taking on, go on that vacation, go visit family you haven't seen for a while, actually go sit down with your kid for lunchtime because, hey, you know what I mean? When I did that, just a side note, when I did that the other day, I was able to sit down for lunch with my kids, I think 2-3 weeks apart. And I was like, wow, I could have never done that if I was still working somewhere else. If I was taking on the 4th or 5th of that other job that I was about to take, I could have never sat down for an hour and been like, how's school in their classroom? And it made them so happy, putting back value and quality into our lives instead of wasting our time working for everybody else and not getting the recognition or the pay that we need and we deserve. So that's why I do this, because I don't have to. Nobody ever has to. But I think people who come out and do it is because they know how much we all need it and benefit from it. So, your success formula: education plus practice plus discipline plus time equals consistent profitability. I am proof of that. I talk about that all the time. If you're in our group or our community, I share my profits all the time. My losses I put out on YouTube. But I usually post it more on WhatsApp, but I do share on YouTube too through my YouTube shorts. I was doing full trade recaps, but once I said I wanted to do a small community of people who are learning this too, I wanted to share the full trade breakdown with you guys, and then I do a quick follow of what it looks like on YouTube. The community is free. The WhatsApp group is free. There's nothing crazy. I just want to give back and show what this is all about. So, key takeaway, because I'm rambling: day trading is about buying and selling within the same day. You make money if you buy, and you make money if you sell. There are multiple ways to trade, and I focus on ICT trading. That's the way I teach, because that is the most that's the biggest way to make the most. You can make money in all different types of strategies. My sister also teaches as well, and she has her strategy, which is amazing. She does really well with it. You make money that way. It depends on your personality. That's why we're teaching both our strategies, because some people like having step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 9, and then enter. Some people are like, okay, the way I'm vibing today, the way the market looks right now, the way I'm interpreting these prices or these key levels, I'm good to go. So people don't need that many steps. So we teach both so that it's understandable, and you can figure out what your personality is. Because whatever your personality is, as long as you understand that you can lose money, but you can control how much money you lose, and 2, you understand that you're not in control of the price, regardless of your personality, trading is for you. All right. I hope that helps, and I hope you're able to look at all the other videos or screen recordings that make up this entire sort of comprehensive day trading for beginners from start to finish.